I'm doing it. I'm vlogging. How do you start a vlog?
I need to sit down.
Hi! We're in London. We're going to Planet Hollywood, and then we're going to see Book of Mormon. My face, I look a bit flushed. Okay, that's the plan. Let's go. Look at that bit of footage. Ow. Oh.
Sorry. Just shoved in the booth.
Awkward moment when a wheelchair user gets given this.
Do it, man. Open the nugs.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Smell them. That batter. I think this should be a thing where we just talk about theatre and eat McDonald's. How did you find Book of Mormon?
I enjoyed it, but I thought it was incredibly sexist.
Oh, we're going straight in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Provide evidence and explain.
The female characters in there, of which there were one main female character, and her sole purpose was to be a sexual interest to the male character. She quite literally had no purpose other than, oh yes, Book of Mormon, I completely believe you. Obviously we've been raised, you know, with the feminist viewpoint, so I view everything with a feminist viewpoint. And when there's one female character in there, and her
males
sole
dressed up as females.
Yeah.
Which I didn't quite get at first. I didn't quite latch on at first. I was like, wow, is that? I don't understand. But on another note, I loved her voice. We should get the programme really.
Yes.
Maybe that's the thing we should do. So, right. We don't have a cast list in this, do we? This is the souvenir.
No.
Ah. Okay, well that's
that
not
was
good.
funny.
But I loved her voice so much. I like both of the two leads. Cunningham, if they got the casting wrong, it could have gone too far.
Oh god, yeah. But can't you see like how Josh Gad
Yeah.
would have fit so easily into that role?
Oh, why don't we live in New York?
Questions I ask myself every day. I enjoyed it, but I felt like it was sexist. That is my review.
But the rest of it, I thought they did really well. The rest of the humour, it was so on edge and it was so dark, but it was good. I thought everything was relatively balanced.
I feel like the racism though
Is quite cleverly
blatant.
done. It's satire, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very satirical.
It is very, very obviously racist. The sexism though, I feel like it's underhand. It's not intentional. The racism is like, come on.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
You can't miss it. The sexism though, it's the worst kind of sexism because it's unintentional.
Yeah, fair enough. Everything else, like, they called something out and made fun of it, whereas
yes.
yeah.
It's sexism because that's what they feel like a woman's role should be,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which is incorrect.
True that. I wish we'd got chips.
I wish we could too.
Just having so many regrets. Not one to see if you're prone to migraines.
That song before the interval, I was sat there and I was thinking, oh, who's going to start crying?
And I'm like quite, to say I'm really sensitive to noise and light and stuff, I'm usually okay with stuff in the theatre and I can usually predict when it's going to come, but even that was too much. That was probably, apart from Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time, which was also absolutely horrific for special effects, that was probably the worst one on me, like had the worst toll physically. If I was telling my friends, if someone asked me, if some like my poorly friends asked it, I'd say don't do it. And it's a shame because I was so into it and it kind of ruined it because for the second half I felt ill. So like it did scupper, it did kind of like ruin my experience to an extent.
It was like visually noisy.
Yeah, and the gunshot. You know, the gunshot in the first half, for some reason, that went right through me. It wasn't even particularly loud, it was just like a harsh noise, it just, ugh. The only other thing I'd say, and I was thinking about this as well, the only other thing I'd say about Book of Mormon is it didn't really hit me emotionally.
No, it didn't me.
Didn't like make me overwhelmingly happy or overwhelmingly sad or emotional. I didn't cry. It's like one of the only musicals I've not cried at. It made me laugh. I thought the ending, like, it just got funnier and funnier, didn't it? I thought it, like, the humour was really consistent all the way through. Like, I can see how some people would love it and some people would absolutely despise it. I'm not kind of in the middle because I did really like it, but I feel like I've done it now.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't do it again.
The thing, I really liked it. Like, that's my sense of humour.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just how, I don't know why it's bothered me so much. The one female character just bothered me.
Okay. I think that's
And
fair.
that's probably why I wouldn't see it again.
What about if they dress more men up in wigs and kind of balance that
Let that
ratio
go.
a bit? I think, even though, I think what we're seeing tomorrow, I think we'll see more of that in, even though it's obviously not a female lead, I think it's going to have more female leads in it.
What are we?
Jamie.
Jamie!
Jamie.
It's a modern musical.
Yeah, they've got,
It's not been written 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been written in this day and age where female empowerment is rife.
Oh, good word.
Right?
But yeah, we'll save that for tomorrow. Save that for tomorrow. Quite enjoyed this actually.
So yeah, feminism.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I was expecting like, what is it? What do you want? What?
Good morning.
Good morning, sunshine.
What are we doing today, Izzy? I'm asking you because I actually still don't really know.
Today, Pippa, we are going to a nut-free, dairy-free,
Yeah.
soy-free, gluten-free bakery to get you some marshmallow cake.
Yeah. I've not even talked about the flush yet.
About the what?
How it's easily in my top 5
Oh
flushes
my
of all
God.
time.
Are you seriously including
Yes.
the flush?
Review of the hotel. Not the most accessible, but has an excellent toilet flush. So this is butterfly tea, which Izzy is just smelling.
Smells like grass.
I think it's lemongrass. I'm not sure what lemongrass is, but it looks nice.
That's coffee.
It's coffee.
It's like coffee, but it's like minty.
It's like a coffee
Mint.
cocktail.
It's like mint coffee. That smells amazing.
This is gluten, dairy, egg, nut, peanut free, and I'm living my very best life. Okay, very quickly, what's the plan?
We're going to... Oh God, where are we going?
We're going to Covent Garden
Yes, we are.
to see Disney,
Aladdin.
Disney's Aladdin. They're doing a show in Covent Garden for the summer holidays.
And then we're going to the Rainforest Cafe.
Then we're going to the Rainforest Cafe.
And then we're going to see everyone's talking about Jamie.
And then we're going to see Jamie. Ah. Oh, that was so embarrassing. So how was the pop-up event, Izzy?
The pop-up event was disappointing.
It didn't
We
go
couldn't
well.
get in the door.
We couldn't see anything or hear anything, so all in all we had a great time. It was nice just to be there, except
Yeah, the atmosphere was great.
it really wasn't,
Even though we
was it?
couldn't see or hear anything.
It was quite hostile and quite hot, so we're going to go to the Rainforest Cafe instead.
Yep.
That's the plan. Thank you. the edge.
You're alright.
Oh. Nom 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 nom.
Hey?
Nom 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 nom.
Oh, no.
Nom 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 nom. Focus.
Sorry.
I love Jamie. It's one of my new favourites. What did you think?
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
So good. It was so Sheffield. It was so on brand.
It was.
The tram reference, the Hillsborough, the passing cross. I still can't believe nobody appreciated the passing cross joke.
I can't believe I didn't pick up on that.
I know, and you can just imagine how that would have gone down in Sheffield. That would have got a roar of laughter in Sheffield, whereas in London it was like,
what?
Hay bale, tumbleweed, not hay bale.
I thought the songs were good. Wasn't really much dancing in there.
I thought there was loads.
There was one dance sequence,
No.
and the rest was generic choreography.
Would strongly disagree.
Why?
I really liked the choreography. I thought it was really it was like contemporary meets voguing.
I agree with you. I did like all the voguing.
I really liked the dance. I thought, I can see what you're saying, there was room for more, but I thought in comparison to a lot of the shows that have come recently, I liked that there was a lot more dance and I wasn't expecting that.
When you look at the whole show, it doesn't really strike you as a dancey musical. There was one, I thought anyway, actual dance song, and that was If I Met Myself Again.
Yeah. That was I thought that was a really I thought it was such a good way of doing it. I thought it was really nice to include it, but I feel like they could have done more with it. It could have I didn't like the way it was staged, but I really liked it, just the whole what's the word? The kind of premise behind it. I just thought, and it was she was looking at her life. And, yeah, that was really lovely. It was a really lovely moment
gorgeous.
still. Yeah. Do you want some ketchup?
No, it's fine.
More importantly. Really strong cast, really good.
Can't fault the cast.
Absolutely love the cast together. Every character was three-dimensional. It wasn't just half-hearted.
Yes. Good female characters.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, good female
that
characters.
aren't just one-dimensional, that don't have one purpose to serve the male lead.
Although you did make the point about the mum at the end, maybe could have had more. Amazing voice, but could have been more of
amazing voice, good acting, but to me anyway, it didn't seem like her whole heart and soul was in it.
And we were comparing it to Blood Brothers, weren't we?
Yes.
And I mean,
which is a very high standard.
Is untouchable. But it's kind of it's hard not to compare them, because
Exactly.
it'll have been the same for you, because you've seen Blood Brothers as many times as me, and your mind just automatically makes the connection.
I didn't want to cry, but I should have felt like I wanted to cry.
Been in bits.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt like it should have been a really
if you listen the lyrics of the song, I should have wanted to cry.
I was more emotional, or more emotionally attached to when she sung Beautiful, when Pretty sang Beautiful. I thought that was a really nice moment. That's probably up there in my favourite songs from musicals of all time. I thought that was a really nice moment.
I
Have you
looked that
had
all
any?
inside my head. Yeah, I've had 3.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, that was good as well. All the transitions we said as well. I don't know how to describe it. It was just very Sheffield. It was Sheffield theatres.
It was.
That's just something I associate with Sheffield theatres, the really smooth transitions,
Yeah. Oh no, I know what you mean.
the artsy transitions. Yeah. Artsy without being pretentious. I would love to see it again,
Yes.
just to kind of fully appreciate it.
I think it's such a positive representation of a gay young man. It doesn't end in tragedy. No one dies.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to change himself.
It was a fact from the start that he was gay. There didn't have to be a big story and a big coming out.
There was no journey.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like that. I think we need a lot more queer characters like that.
Do you not know what a gender neurodivergent so and so is? And it was yes.
Thank you.
It was quite a mixed audience, wasn't it?
It's a very gay musical.
It is, yeah.
And I found it really refreshing to see older people
Embracing
in
it.
there. Yeah.
It wasn't too flashy. It was a bit flashy. I'm thinking special effects wise. It was nowhere near as bad as Book of Mormon. It was just it was during the scene changes, and I could deal with that.
The scene changes I thought were more very loud music as opposed to flashy things.
Which can be the lesser of two evils, I think.
Really?
Do you want that?
No, eat it if you want it.
kind of want it.
Eat it.
I'm kind of full though, actually.
Do you want the chicken nugget?
Don't ask a silly question.
I'm gonna just solve. There you go.
Thank you. I've eaten so much today then.
I'm eating so much today.
I think that's all we've got to say. Should we turn it off?
Okay.
Okay. So we're in our new favourite place, and this is officially the happiest toast in the world.
Just Thai coffee syrup.
How do you feel about your happy toast, Izzy?
I feel very happy about my happy toast.
Oh good, I'm glad. So it's been a few days now, and I'm back at home, still feeling a bit rubbish, but I thought I should probably talk a bit about Young Frankenstein, which is the last thing we saw. Not gonna lie, it's a bit weird doing this without Izzy and the chicken nuggets, mostly the chicken nuggets, but I had to talk about Young Frankenstein because I just wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. It's another one of those cases, it's happened so many times where I've gone to a musical that I wouldn't usually buy tickets for or I wouldn't be interested in, and it's just completely exceeded my expectations. So I kind of went into it thinking, oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be good, but you know, like, it's not really my kind of thing. And oh, it was so good. It was so good. I'm still trying to think of the best way to describe it because it's obviously an American story and it's Mel Brooks's baby and it's very American in that sense, but the humour in it I thought was really British. It was very like physical comedy and the dialogue was very British humour. It gave me Fawlty Towers vibes, and Fawlty Towers is one of my favourite things ever. So it was, yeah, I just loved it. Casting was amazing, the relationships between the characters so much, and I've got the programme here because I wanted to say Hadley Fraser, he was the most charismatic, just amazing lead ever. He just had such a likability about him, and I just really enjoyed his performance. I feel like I'm not doing it justice here. I'm really tired, but I loved it so much. I actually think Young Frankenstein is one of my new favourites. I'd be saying go and see it, but it's obviously closing. By the time this goes up, it probably will have closed in the West End. So when it does go on UK tour, and it is going on UK tour, you have to go and see it. You just have to. I can't even tell you how good it was. Like if you like the same kind of things as me, or you have a similar sense of humour, just like that really like British comedy kind of, oh, I just loved it. And the choreography, it was so classic musical theatre. It was so immersive. It was just amazing. And Izzy obviously really enjoyed it as well. I'm so glad that we went to go and see it. Like I talk about this on my blog a lot, but there are so many things that I really only go and see because they're things that Izzy's wanted to see, and every single time it's completely exceeded my expectations, and most of them have turned into my new favourite. It just goes to show, as stereotypical as it sounds, that if you do go outside your comfort zone every now and then, it can really pay off. I don't like doing this on my own. I need a friend. And I wanted to talk about as well, just before I go, obviously like this, I don't do YouTube. That's not a thing, but I do, if you don't know me, I do chronic illness friendly theatre reviews on my blog, Life of Pippa, and kind of the reasoning behind that was that accessible theatre is obviously becoming more and more of a thing, which is great, but I sometimes feel like chronic illness often gets forgotten in that conversation. Like people don't always take into consideration the fact that chronic illness and disability can be separate things, and the people in these groups can have separate needs. And one thing I did think about all these 3 shows that we went to these last 3 days, all of them. There's people viewing the flat next door and I'm like 99% sure they can hear me. But, yeah, anyway. Oh, I was on a roll then as well. So we saw 3 really good shows, and all 3 of them had the same kind of blanket warning in their marketing, saying kind of the stereotypical, this production contains strobe lighting and special effects. It's the same blanket warning that you tend to see on most standard theatre productions. And kind of my point really is that within that standard warning, things can differ so much. Because Young Frankenstein had the most special effects. It had fire, strobe, smoke, and it's funny to me that that would have the same kind of blanket warning as Jamie, which wasn't bad at all, apart from a few flashy moments and a quite loud noise, and yet they're still grouped together. And then you have Book of Mormon, which is kind of, Book of Mormon's kind of thrown me off a bit, because on paper it wouldn't sound as bad as things like Young Frankenstein and like other things I've seen for special effects. Like if I just saw it written down on paper saying, oh yeah, there's a moment before the interval where the background flashes different coloured lights, I would look at that and think, oh yeah, that's fine, that's no big deal. Whereas in reality, that's something that had more of a physical effect on me as someone with a chronic illness than even Young Frankenstein did with dozens and dozens of special effects. So it just goes to show how like things can differ so much within that same standard warning, and I don't know if that would make sense to anybody else, but that's kind of why I do the whole chronic illness friendly thing on my blog, because things do differ so much, and sometimes you do just need to, that came out weird, sometimes you do just need to hear it from somebody else in that situation, and I don't know if that's something that will ever change in the future, but I don't know, I do think there needs to be some kind of like categorisation with shows like in the industry, not just in the West End but with theatre in general, just to really accommodate people as best as possible. But I mean, that's a whole other battle. There's like many battles within like accessibility in the theatre industry, so that's probably not at the top of the pile anymore, but that's just something I've been thinking about. Oh, probably gonna go and have a nap now. But yeah, thank you for watching, if indeed you still are. I've had a really nice few days with Izzy. We've had a really nice time. This was kind of like our little holiday for the year. And yeah, ta-ra.